My name is Niki Ernst. I'm passionate about impact, about changing people's lives or contributing to messages that are shared from stage to change people's life and perception. Because we live in a world where a lot of things are happening in a way that didn't happen before. A lot of things are going in a direction. And I do tours in the Silicon Valley every month. I bring people from all over the world in very small units, 10 people in every tour. And I introduce them to amazing companies, entrepreneurs, game changers, visionaries, community gurus in the Silicon Valley with 5 meetings per day, and help them understand what does it take to be fit for what's happening or what's going to happen. And then there is a university, which actually is not a university, but they call themselves Singularity University. I don't know who of you has heard of Singularity University before. So that's only a few. The idea of Singularity University is to understand the concept of exponential growth. So technology is growing on an exponential pace. Gordon Moore in the 60s predicted that every 16 months the price performance of computers will double. And that was given the name Moore's Law, and we believe that a lot of technologies in all different spaces follow the same pattern, follow the same exponential curve. And Singularity says when we have technology that grows exponentially, we can solve grand global challenges, such as water, education, catastrophe resilience, space, air, environment, education, and on and forth. We all know them. These are the problems that we have to solve to move towards abundance. So Singularity, or the founders of the Singularity University, Ray Kurzweil and Peter Diamandis, believe that we're moving towards abundance. So everything will be fine. It's like the Pandora's box. We just have to figure out how we deal with the trouble that's around us. And with my work in the Silicon Valley, and that's why I'm so happy being part of this journey with you, and thank you so much, Jesse, for having me. Being here with you. I see a lot of differences between cultures, between the culture, and the Silicon Valley is a bubble. There's, I would say 95% of the people who live there are guests, and you behave in a different way when you're a guest somewhere, which creates an environment, a culture of its own. So I wouldn't say that I know America if I believe that I have some certain understanding of how Silicon Valley functions. But most of it is very special because of the culture, because of the way how people treat each other, and because of the way how people are open to learning. And we in Europe, we're a bit arrogant. I don't know if I'm supposed to say this in front of a European audience, but let me know if you can resonate on this. We believe that when we understand something, that this is the truth. And it's important for us. When I was a child, my father told me, Niki, when you are a grown-up, you have to have an opinion towards something. Because people gravitate to people who have an opinion towards something because they think they're interesting. And that made a lot of sense for me. Right? Does it make sense? You think that having an opinion towards something makes sense?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah? So I think it does make sense. But it took me a long time to understand how stupid this concept is. Because every time you know something, or you believe you know something, you close the door to learning the same concept from a different angle. So we call this unlearn. And we say that the illiterate of the future will not be those who can't read and write. The illiterate of the future will be those who are not able to unlearn, to learn, to unlearn, and to relearn. And a very easy way of starting into this is, A, being at an event like this, listening to speakers like this. And in the first few moments you might think of, oh, what I heard, what I'm hearing here, I heard already. Keep on listening. Because there might be something at minute 8 that you haven't heard. So one simple thing is doing this, being conscious, listening, even if you feel like there's something shared from down here that I've heard before. Another thing that's kind of my gift to you when you go home is when you've been asked if you've seen a movie or if you've read a book. Like, I don't know, have you seen Avatar, the movie?
Yes, plenty.
All right. So that's a good answer because you've seen it. So what I would encourage you to do is to say no. Because if I ask you something, there might be something I'd like to share about that movie, and if you say no, the conversation is done. What would I tell you if you've seen it? But if you say no, I feel like I'm going to share something with you about this, and you might get a new perspective. So that's the toughest thing for us Europeans. Because we believe if we say no of being asked for something, The other person believes that we have very little knowledge. Whereas actually it just means that you're very curious and you're open to unlearn and to relearn. And the thing is, and here's something that I'd like to share, this is a very personal way of seeing things. Until today, with all the technology that's around us, until today, nothing has changed. So we still do the same thing that we've been doing the past 100 years. It's just technology that helps us doing it in a faster way, in an easier way. But actually, it's just the same thing. Everything is equally, we wear the same thing, we commute in the same way, we communicate in the same way. It's just technology is supporting us. In, let's say, 20 years, and it's not about the 20 here, but it's something that we will experience. Nothing will be the same. There will be so much different in this world that all the things that we do today will not be possible. The way we feed ourselves today will kill us before we have the first food on the plate. Because we're going to be 10 billion people, and 10 billion people, they're going to be fed in a different way. The way we wear, the way we choose our garments is going to be in a different way. Because of various things. You probably know better than I do. So we're in this very narrow window, and I encourage you to embrace this time, because I think this is the most exciting time you could ever live it. We're in this very narrow window where we experience people hold tight to the past and say, this is not going to happen. We experience people who work on what's going to happen in the next 20 years. And then we have a lot of people who transiting this path, who help us through this process. And a lot of people who help us through this process, we're going to listen and hear here today. I call this area the retrofit area. There's a lot of things that we continue doing, we just take new technology until a certain point where we're going to massively change it. So when we talk about the new technology, we also go into, and that kind of opens up the first session, into some new narratives. And one of the new narratives that I'm personally psyched about is the fact that we're questioning the current system we have today. Most of our KPIs that we, so the key performance indicators, draw around money. We're a money-driven society, and a lot of things grow organically, but they grow, who open up a new way of setting, a new way of seeing things. Social businesses mushroom all over the world. People are doing something for passion. I'm strongly involved in the TEDx network. I don't know, do you know TED or TEDx? So that's half of the people in the room. TED is a conference that exists for 33 years, founded in Monterey. TED stands for Technology, Entertainment and Design. And Saul Berman said if you have something worthwhile to share where the journey is going, 18 minutes must be enough to get people excited to learn more. And Chris Anderson, the current curator of TED, in 2009 invited local communities to produce their own TED event. And it's called TEDx. And there is a TEDx Athens from a wonderful team being produced here every year. And there are 10 TEDx events every day somewhere in the world. So it's massive. And it's about 150,000 volunteers who work the whole year, fully dedicated and committed and passionate for the TEDx program without being paid. So there must be more, there must be something more than money, there must be something stronger than money. And a lot of it is drawn around reputation. I believe in the future reputation will be something like a currency, where people will decide that they go in business with you because they like you, not because you pay, because everyone has to pay. So money will be comparable, so you're going to choose the people you work with. So we're going to talk about reputation. Then there is technology, which was necessary as a backbone when we talk about reputation. And that's blockchain. I don't know, who of you have heard of blockchain before? Who of you can explain what blockchain is? Well, I hope one of us can. We're going to hear the first speaker now. And the first speaker is a serial game changer, I would call him. Erlinga has done a lot of companies, has done TV and broadcast stations and all sorts of stuff in the old economy to finally learn that actually there must be something way more exciting. And what this is, we're going to hear first from our opening speaker. So big hand of applause for Erlinga, please.